to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renegade Radio and also all the podcast catchers, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Deezer, also Amazon Music, Audible, wherever you're catching a podcast. It's the Dark Mark Show. I'm Dark Mark, the goth comedian. And unfortunately, my regular co-host, Nicole Six, couldn't make it today. And we're going to be talking about kink. So I said, well, who should I have as my co-host? The person I know that knows kink the most, and everybody loves her. She's one of everybody's favorite guests. Now she's co-host tonight of Eddie Murphy's favorite comedian, Jamie Gendron.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Jamie. You told me a month ago, you told me when you came to my show, you said, how come you didn't consider me as a co-host? And that's because you never said anything, and I just didn't even think.
I know. Well, it was my own fault for not saying something, so I should have said something.
Yeah, I know. But you're the co-host today, and also it would look bad if you pushed our old co-host Hannah out, and you guys wouldn't be friends anymore, and the whole thing. Anyway, we're going to talk about kink tonight. It's about time. About time we started talking about that again. And we have an expert. She's grown up in the industry, so to speak, and is actually she is I'm not sure the official title, but she works with two of the hottest, and I mean hot, websites out there, the Dungeon Store and SplitPeaches.com. We have Brittany Wilson here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
She has her pronouns there, she, her, and she's got her dog. What's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Chindy. Sorry, she's very clingy. The second
that's fine. Trust me. I'm sorry.
Voice for recording, she was like, "What is that?"
If I was there, I'd probably be just as clingy myself, but that's just me. I want you to pet me and all that stuff. And so let me get our sponsors out of the way real quick because I'm really thirsty because it's really hot here. And I also have to keep up with this energy. So I'm drinking my favorite energy drink, Raze energy drinks. And I've tried every energy drink, and this is the best. You don't get this at 7-Eleven, you don't get this at supermarkets. They have these at gyms. Now gyms are opening up, GNCs. Or the best way to get it, do what I did. Go to our description in your podcast catcher, or if you're watching this on YouTube, and there's a code, and you put in DMS, you get 15% off a case. This is a new flavor, strawberry colada, and they have all sorts of fun, fruity flavors. I just popped it open. The best part of this can doesn't say it, but some cans have it down there. 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 crash.
Cool.
Good to know.
Delicious and thirst quenching. Strawberry colada is nice. And then we're also sponsored by Audible. And I know we're going to be talking about sex and kink and S&M and all that. And they got plenty of that on Audible. They got everything from Shakespeare to smut. You'd be surprised, Brittany. They have everything. You ever go to Audible?
I would not be surprised at all.
Do you listen to dirty audiobooks? You should.
I do not listen to dirty audiobooks, but I do constantly get because I go through so many, I get the constant recommendation for the Audible like romance subscription because you get all of those romance books included. My preference, but it is a thing that they're constantly like, hey, Brittany, like you go through so many books. This is a lot of books you don't pay for.
Right. Yeah, because they have Audible originals that you get free with your subscription, and you get thousands of them. So if you go to audibletrial.com/DMS, once again, audibletrial.com/DMS, you get a free book, free 30-day trial to Audible, and you can listen to all the romance novels and everything else they have on the Audible originals. They did an audio book of Sandman, the Neil Gaiman comic with an all-star cast. They have Bob Newhart has a show where he interviews comics that are younger than him, and he's 90 years old, so that's everybody. They've got everything. They've got everything there. They have an Alien 3. They took William Gibson's script, the person that wrote all the cyberpunk books. He wrote a script. They got Lance Henriksen and all-star cast to do the voices for it, and Michael Biehn and everybody else. But they have everything from Shakespeare to smut. I actually just finished listening to Rob Halford's autobiography. Rob Halford, the lead singer of Judas Priest. And Brittany, you're the second straight guest that we've had in their 20s, and you have no idea who that is. But that is one of the premier. He's the lead singer of the band Judas Priest. He was one of the premier heavy metal gods of the 1980s and 90s, and he's flamboyantly gay. So you got a lot of rock and roll and a lot of gay sex stories. I loved it. But you can get anything you want. audibletrial.com/DMS. Now, Brittany, you have an interesting upbringing, from what I understand from the last podcast. I want to delve into it a little more than you did there, but the website that you didn't start this website, Dungeon Store. Your mother did.
That's correct. Yes.
That's a cool mom.
She's something. Yeah.
Well, do tell. I growing up with a mother that has an S&M website. Now, it was always a website, or was it a?
So actually, she got her start, and I got my start in lifestyle event sales. So that's, the leather events, the gay events, the swinger events, BDSM events, fetish porn events, vanilla porn events. That's where she got her start, and I got my start. Having a website is really something that only came around in the last few years, and having a website that actually drove traffic and sales, it's really been COVID that led to us more of a website company. But the company itself has always been events-based sales. So that's
and you're back doing the events. They're coming back slowly but surely.
Yep, I think we've got 20 between now and the end of the year.
That's great. Cool. It was so weird, because it's like there was nothing for a while, and everything just opened up. It was, and I as usual, like Black Friday, I was standing at the door just at a normal pace, and everybody's rushing past me, and just everybody's like ready for everything. But everything's open now.
Everything's open.
I've been saying they should have given us like a soft opening. You know how like new restaurants, they have a soft opening. I think we needed a soft opening to go back to society, because I did not feel ready. I did not feel prepared. You have to wear pants again? That's crazy. I wasn't ready.
I agree with you, right? I'm the same way. I'm really getting, because it's only been the last couple months, I'm really getting used to actually socializing again. And it's weird for me. And even my friends, like, we kind of lost a year. I haven't seen Jamie in over a year, but we've kept in touch, but it's not the same.
Yeah, well, we saw each other that one time.
Right, that was great when you came to my show and we saw each other. But before then, it's been over a year.
Yeah.
And I was high off a good comedy show, so I was at my best. But it was so weird. Now, are you experiencing this, Jamie? You said that was the first time you've been out since COVID.
Yeah, it
been
really
a long time.
I mean, other than going out to dinner a couple of times where I ate outside on the patio, yeah, that was my first night out. I had a great time, and you killed your set that night.
Well, I wasn't fishing for compliments, but you've been dressing up, you've been taking pictures. Everybody knows you're still hot.
I'm 51. I've got to try to keep up.
Oh, stop it! So J-Lo's 51. Come on. Age doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
As we talk to a beautiful woman in her 20s, age does not mean anything anymore.
It doesn't.
I don't think so. I don't think, to me, it never did. But I've dated older women. I've dated younger women. I've dated, women in their 60s. I don't think I've hit 70 yet, but I would if they were beautiful and interesting.
I think once you hit the age of consent, it doesn't matter. It's got to be like personality and looks as like age.
Well, you got to flip that, really. It's looks then personality for everything. You don't even care about the personality unless they look good. Be honest, Britt. Unless there's a spark, you got to have something you're attracted to even.
I'm big on personality. I'm big on personality.
Right.
Here's the thing. Great, so you look nice. I take you home, and what? You don't know how to talk, right? So what are we gonna do? We're gonna have sex a couple times, and then what? I'm supposed to have a man that I can't speak to in my house? Goodbye. No. What do you do with that?
Okay, well, I agree with you, but I need personality as well, and other qualities, all sorts of qualities. But initially, it's going to be I'm going to look at somebody and say I'm attracted to them. I want to get to know them better. And if they have no personality, I've been on those coffee dates where you're just sitting there. I think we all have, where you're just sitting there going, "Oh, just let me get through this. It's only another. I'll get the check. Don't worry about it. I just want to get out of here." Or even I've stopped, and I've had other people stop the date like like we could have kept talking. I was like, "Hey, I don't think this is working out. I'll see you." And yeah, it's not good. Anyway, but you were a little kid, and you're helping your mother pack dildos and whips and ball gags and things to take to these fetish parties.
So in the early years of being a little kid, the later years of being a little kid, I did inventory reconciliation. So I had no idea, that all of this was sex related. I would have like a packing slip with pictures on it, and
Right.
just counting out, matching up, okay, this many, this thing, this many, this thing, and just matching it off the packing slip. So I was doing inventory reconciliation with no clue that I was reconciling
Butt plugs.
glass dildos.
Right.
It wasn't until I got to be
When did you realize that these were being used sexually? At what age?
I think she told me before I realized it. I think, yeah, she told me what was up before I realized.
Yeah. But you were like puberty, junior high, that type of thing?
Yeah. Yes.
Because you said on the other podcast, which I very much enjoyed, that you really you kind of accept. They had sex ed in school, but you kind of had the extra credit class out in the playground.
Yeah, but I went to a lot of schools that I feel like, despite being private schools, missed the mark on thorough sex ed. And I am someone who loves to be right, but also to share knowledge. And so they cut some corners in sex ed in school, and on the playground, I was like, nope, let's do it correct. Let's everybody actually learn.
Right. And you didn't bring any of the glass dildos to show and tell or anything?
No. That would have been before she told me. I was younger. That was she told me.
Yeah. Or
Not
take your daughter to work day?
Yeah, that was not.
What were you gonna say, Jamie?
I was thinking of not the glass dildos. I really thought that the ones that were cute are the pastel unicorn horns.
Oh, that's
those
your
were
other
really cute.
website. Now, I'm assuming this is you have more input on this website.
Yeah. Yes.
The
What?
Dungeon Store is old school, and Split Peaches, I think, is the next generation.
Oh, well, Split Peaches I have more input on because I just have, of everyone that's involved with the greater company, I just have the most experience with it. Like it's like having two kids. You don't have a favorite kid.
I know.
And I have more experience with the Dungeon Store product line, to be completely honest.
Right. So how did Split Peaches start and kind of become its own entity?
It was a pandemic addition to our.
Oh, okay.
So you know how everyone spent the pandemic learning to make their own sourdough starter, and I learned how to make body safe dildos. I missed the sourdough memo.
So not a sourdough starter kit. That's hilarious.
Did you learn how to make sourdough bread, Jamie?
No, I did not learn how to make sourdough bread.
Or twisty unicorn shaped dildos?
No, but those kind of fascinated me. I have to admit, those kind of fascinated me.
Well, they are. You got the horny Halloween unicorn horn dildo. You got the small, medium, and large. You got who's ordering small dildos?
So what you have to realize is our smalls are still pretty sizable because our larges are like the length of my arm.
Oh, okay.
So the smalls are what most places would call medium.
Okay.
Our mediums are what most people would look at and say large, and our larges are extra large, is really a better perspective on the size.
Well, Jamie, since we're going to be talking about dildos extensively, which is your size?
Who, me?
Yeah.
You know, being a post-op transsexual, I've got a certain,
right?
I've got a certain amount of depth. I've got good depth, honestly, for being what I am. Depth can be a big problem. A lot of girls end up like 3 or 4 inches deep, and I didn't have that problem. I can take a good 7 to 8, depending on, you know, how excited I am. Now, anything over 8, that's not going in. It's just
Okay.
not.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I don't know what I said. Brittany, you're a medium or a large? What do you do?
I'm small. What are you talking? I'm a small.
Okay, you're small. Okay, I don't know. I don't know anything about you, but I do know that. Now, where did the inspiration for these? I'm just I got sidetracked because I saw a couple of this. I looked at the Screw You and the Rivetor, and they're right next to beer cans. So I thought you were selling beer cans, but no, they were.
It's for a size perspective.
Right. So what inspired you to make these creations? You just was like, well,
like I said, it was an acquisition. But the kind of the goal of the greater line is whimsy. Bring whimsy to our dildos, bring whimsy into the bedroom. Because sometimes it's a little too serious. And so make it whimsical, make it rainbow, make it fun, make it cute.
now it's so. I mean, were you molding these here at your house, or you were?
No, I have an
contracting them out.
No, I have an office. I personally pour them.
Oh, okay. And because I've never, I shouldn't say this, but I've seen brightly covered dildos before, but I don't think I've seen one shaped like a screwdriver now, or screw rather, or I seen something like the Riveter. What would the screw feel like? Well, I mean, I'm trying to,
So really, the screw and the Riveter and the horn, it's the texture, and it's just the different textures add different layers of sensation.
It's like a real hardcore rib sort of thing.
Right, exactly. And so the Riveter, it's a bunch of bumps. The screw, it's like those really sizable ridges, and then the horn, it's that gradual kind of flowing spiral. So it's just different sensations, different ways of adding pressure. And the other thing is that all of our dildos come in 3 different densities. And so the density of the silicone also makes a huge difference in terms of how it feels. Yeah. So if you have something in our softest, super squish density, even with huge ridges, it's not going to feel as, I don't want to say ridgy, but ridgy, right, compared to something in a more dense, firm type of silicone. So right, it's just different types of sensation.
The finish on it is so metallic. That's what got me, because it looks real.
Yeah.
It looks like you're sticking a giant metal screw, wherever you're going to stick a giant metal screw, but it's actually silicone, and it's not. You don't have hard metal ridges going up against. No. Okay. This is why, by the way, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, also, the screw does also come in a rainbow, because it's all about whimsy. And I do love the juxtaposition between industrial shapes and whimsical colors. I love that like blending of traditionally like masculine energy and traditionally like female, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Not big on the gender roles, but I do like, if we're going to have them, combine them whenever possible.
They're flowing into each other. And by the way, I'm sure you've caught it by now, and people that listen to the show know this, but I'm not a hardcore fetish devotee. I'm more of a voyeur, and I'm kind of a dilettante. I play around a little bit, but I haven't really gotten that hardcore into it. That's part of the reason I got Jamie on here, because I know she knows all. Now, on the websites, Jamie, what was your favorite thing that you saw on these websites? So you're like, man, I'd like to try that.
Honestly, it sounds strange, but I've been really curious about buying a strap-on. And I don't know why. You would think somebody who got rid of something similar would not want to wear something similar. But yeah, I've been really curious about trying a strap-on.
And the strap-ons look good, huh?
Yeah, they did. They really did. I like the leather. I like the quality. Yeah, they could. Yeah, I did. That caught my attention.
Now, let me go
And
back to the dungeon. So let me look at these strap-ons for a second. Brittany, tell us about the strap-ons that you have available.
I would love to, but I will say, Jamie, it could be because then you get to take it off. You get to try it, and then you get to take it off.
there you go. Okay. Yeah,
Like, where it
that
comes
makes sense. Because when I couldn't take it off, it was a big no for me. Like
so
that
that
was off limits.
like that you can put that on and then you can take it off.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about my strap-on harnesses is a lot of strap-on harnesses are designed like belts. And so they have, like a belt does, holes, and you just go to the hole that is closest to your body size.
Mhm.
That's great, but that's the dimensions of your thighs, your waist. Like that's not going to fit every body. There's not going to be a hole for whatever the dimensions of your body is. I know there's not my body.
Mm-hmm.
So our strap-on harnesses have those two like D-rings that the strap folds through, and then it's adjustable. So it's completely unique to how your body fits, or to how it fits your body, whatever your body type is the best way to put it. So everything's 100% adjustable instead of just, well, these are the two sizes, and if you're in the middle, figure it out. It also helps. One of the big problems with strap-on harnesses is they don't sit correctly. They'll either slide down or it'll be all the way up at your belly button, which is not a realistic or comfortable location.
No.
And so, right, I mean, that's like not where.
It's not where the penis is. I can tell you that by myself.
It doesn't come out of your belly button. That's not how that works.
No.
And so because everything's adjustable, it makes it easier to adjust it to the correct location, the most comfortable location. And also, if depending the size differential of you and your partner, because sometimes a different position of the harness and where the dildo is aimed makes a huge difference in comfort and ease of use. And so that's kind of what makes our strap-on harnesses different. Also, I mean, it's American leather, made in America. The faceplate, like the front plate part, which is also leather, comes in a bunch of different colors. So it's just, I mean, I love it, but I'm obviously biased.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, do you have any that have the hole going both ways so that the woman can be penetrated at the same time that she's penetrating?
We do not have any of those.
Okay.
Not yet.
I was going to say, let me kick it to R&D and see what we can come up with. But at this time, we do not.
So that's what you really want to do, Jamie, is to for both of
If
you.
I'm
to
going to dom somebody, yeah. If I'm going to dom somebody, yeah, definitely.
Okay. I never even thought about. I was just thinking. I was like, wait a second. You were like, oh, so weird strap, and then it hit me like 2 minutes later. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that would be kind of weird. But you've never done that before, I'm assuming.
No.
You've done it. You did it with when you had your own, but you didn't do it with a strap.
No, actually, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, that was totally off limits. Every guy I ever dated, I told up front, if that's what you want, I'm not your girl. I don't want it messed with. I don't want it played with. I don't want you going down on it. Like nothing. Cost me a few guys, but.
Well, I'm sure. And your partner now, is he up for the strap on or no?
I doubt it. Doubtful.
He could be talked into it, I would imagine.
It's hard to imagine.
Brittany, tell her how to talk your man into that.
Carefully.
Yes. Because your partner sounds happy.
Mine?
With the glee that you were describing strap on, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounds like.
I'm passionate about my job. That's really what it comes down to.
Oh, okay, yeah. And that's the thing now. It's so weird to separate your job from your life.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a fantasy life, but that's your job. Does the job ever get just tedious or boring like every other job?
You know that phrase, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life?
Right.
Yeah, that's not true. What the phrase should be is that if you love what you do, you won't mind the days where you feels like work.
Right.
But yeah, there are absolutely days where all I'm doing is answering emails, and I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
okay, fun. But
Yeah, I gotta pack some more butt plugs. Woe is me.
I mean,
Oh,
like that's the thing. Like it's easy to think, oh, working in the sex industry, like that must be fascinating. And it is, don't get me wrong. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it, like you can tell, but it is still at the end of the day a job, and it has work attached to it. And a lot of that work is not exciting or interesting at all. A lot of it's warehouse work, manual labor,
social media.
social media, like things that are not sexy and not fun. It's things that you would do if you worked for UPS or for like a Coca-Cola distribution warehouse.
Right. Because people would think, working in the sex industry, you're having orgies every night. But then again, this is your mother's company. Obviously, she wasn't doing that when you were growing up. I mean, I was maybe in her spare time when you had a babysitter, but not, not around the office.
You'd have to ask her.
Well,
Yeah.
I would love to, but but for you now, when did you start working? I mean, was there any profession you were thinking of getting into rather than helping your mother expand the business?
I wanted to be an intellectual property attorney for almost all of my childhood, adolescence, up through into after my second year of college. I wanted to be an intellectual property attorney.
Does that have something to do with your mother's company and the intellectual property that she? No, just
everything to do with I wanted to be a lawyer, and I thought that IP law was going to be the next zenith of law. I was a big nerd growing up. I was a really big nerd.
Every beautiful woman tells me that. I was a nerd. Nobody thought I was cute. I was ugly. See, I highly doubt it. But even
nice. I mean, I got the receipts, bro. Like,
and this is when nerds were like cast down on. Now nerds are in.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's like Zoomers really like, I mean, they have it tough in so many ways, but they do not understand that now being smart is sexy. And previous generations, being smart was the most unattractive quality. Being smart meant guys would flirt with you, so you do their Spanish homework.
Right.
They weren't going to ask you to prom, but they were going to be real nice to you to get you the notes that they missed when they cut class with their other girlfriend. Their real girlfriend.
Say, even you got it light though. When I was a kid, I was called a homosexual epithet because I liked Doctor Who. Now everybody likes Doctor Who. So.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Jamie, I'm going to say it, and I caution everybody. I'm just quoting. This is not me, but I used to get called faggot on the playground because I like Doctor Who instead of Star Wars.
Well.
Kids are
cruel. I used to get called that on the playground, but more because I hung out with the girls and did all of the girl things. And yeah, that's where I got it from.
Well, I kind of rejected the male bro thing too. But anyway, we digress. I want to give some more of these products now, because you have a whole page for the penis. And since I have one, I was curious, but it's not all penis. It says penis play, but it's not all penis stuff. That's where the puppy hood is.
So it used to be, and this is, I do need to redesign and kind of sort this a little bit better.
Okay.
So it used to say boy toys, and puppy play is really common in the gay community. And it was brought to my attention that calling something boy toys is gender terminology, and that's not fair because not everyone with a penis is a boy. And I totally get that, and immediately remove the word boy and change it to penis.
Okay.
But now find another place to put puppy stuff because it made sense with that term, but that term is not the right kind of inclusive language that I want to model.
Right.
So
the
now
thing that I just used a vile word that should not be repeated is political correctness affecting your business? How do you, I mean, not only that, gender fluidity, everything else, how do you even segregate everything? Because everybody's blending together into one gender, one race, one everything.
So that was like 5 questions. Let me see if I can get those.
Yeah, well, that's what I do.
Correctness affecting my business, I would strongly say no. I would say a push for inclusiveness among people who've been traditionally marginalized and maligned. Yeah, it means we all got to shift our perspectives a little bit.
Right.
But right, I just said I had to go in and change a word in my website. That's not an inconvenience. That's not hours out of my day to avoid, hurting people. All right.
Yeah, why not?
I can live with that. Like that's a value proposition. Done. Absolute. And even if it took 5 hours, 10 hours, 2 weeks, done. Fine with that value proposition. This makes someone else feel better and like my site speaks to them more. Great. I love that.
That's the right answer to all 5 of my questions. Is that it's not a big a deal. It's not that big a deal.
There you go. And like that's like it's that simple to me. Like, okay, this makes you feel excluded? No. We pull up a chair at the table. We pull up another chair at the table. It's that simple.
Right. I wish everybody had that mindset. And I think
I think I got that mindset from somewhere in terms of
yes, I see. Yes.
People's.
Yes. So by the way, for people on radio, you were just showing the both sides of your hands, and you are mixed race, I'm assuming.
I'm ethnic, generic American ethnic mutt.
Okay. As everybody is, we all come. The first man came from Africa. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all mixed with something. So, but you were waving your hands and people at the radio wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I was demonstrating my very obvious American muttishness.
Yes. I was now I'm looking at this Hummer Super BJ machine. Is that what I was going to say? This is not affiliated with Hummer, the car.
No.
And it's a couple $100. Is it worth it?
Well, I'm a little biased. It's not going to tell you not to buy something. I'm not going to tell you not to buy it. But I think if you're looking for sex machines, I would go Cloud9's F Slider. However, that's more for vaginal anatomy. Is the Hummer Super BJ machine worth it? Yes, it is worth it because it's a one-time purchase for a lot of pleasure.
Okay, good. I'm just I'll save my pennies. We'll see what happens. But Jamie, get me out of this weird energy that we're in right now because I fucked everything up. I don't know what I said, but get us out of this. Tell us what
you didn't say
what type of stuff do you like to play with, Jamie, on a regular basis?
Let's see. My favorite is my Hitachi vibrator. Honestly, you just can't beat a classic, and it's I get that a lot. That's a misconception about trans people, is because in the old days when you got the surgery, chances were you were never going to have another orgasm again.
Mm-hmm.
But they've advanced it by the 90s. They had advanced it enough to where you can orgasm, and I'm very fortunate that I can actually multiple orgasm. So, my favorite toys are just a simple. I do like penetration while I'm using the vibrator. I do. I like using some kind of dildo for penetration, and then I use the vibrator on the clit, and I'm good to go.
Have you ever tried the violet wand?
I have, and I like it.
Because
I like it being done to me, and I like using it on people.
Now, I have heard of a violet wand, but I'm looking at the pages, and I know that this is something that really is something that the Dungeon Store really started.
Yeah.
So tell me about it, and tell me all these little accessories to it, because I'm still getting a little confused, and a lot of it has to be plugged in.
Yeah. Okay. So a violet wand is absolutely my bailiwick, which is what I meant when I was like, well, it's tough to say the dungeon store is old generation, because that's my bailiwick. That's my knowledge base. So violet wands use static electricity to create an arcing spark, which some people, like our Jamie, find pleasurable, right, in their bedroom activities. So there's two types of violet wands. There's solid state, which are the newer ones, and then there's traditional. Now, traditionals are also called wax cores, wax capacitors, electromechanicals, what have you. It's a different type of technology to get to the same result, electricity. If you're just starting out, I strongly recommend solid state, because it has a lower introductory price point and it's a lot more of a user-friendly device. So violet wands, did you have a specific question, or?
No, I was going to say, what does it do? I mean, what is it? What does it do?
Shocks you.
I don't even know. Jamie knows, I don't know.
It shocks you. You put is a device.
But it shocks you in the right places.
Oh, look at that.
But it actually looks just like this, the black line right here.
Wow.
I branded myself with my company logo. I'm sorry, I got a tattoo of my company logo.
Right.
It was cheaper than a cattle brand, so just made sense. So you have the device plugs into the wall, and then you put different attachments in the end of the device. So most of the things you're looking at are attachments that plug into the device itself. Things like the ball chain, or angel kiss, devil's horns, these all plug directly into the wand. And then those accessories are what you use to shock yourself. Or be shocked by your
partner. Or be shocked, yeah. Yeah. I had a boyfriend who introduced me to that. And yeah, he definitely made a fan out of me.
I mean, they're a really versatile toy that I think a lot of people kind of write off because it looks, you hear electricity and you get a little skittish, but it's a really sensual based toy if you use it to be a sensual based toy.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't have to be torture or painful at all.
Exactly.
Although it can be.
And that's the thing. It runs a whole spectrum. I can't think of another like fetish item, toy, dildo, whatever that is as versatile as a violet wand is. Can't think of one.
So you can do it very gently, or you could really,
Yeah, I mean, and you can also, you can use what's called a body contact cable, which allows you to become the conductor, at which point you can use your hands to shock your partner. You can use your tongue to shock your partner. So from the tip of your nose to the tips of your toes, you can just be electrified.
Wow. You ever do that, Jamie?
It's fun.
I've only been shocked. We used to go to the fetish clubs, and they had a guy called Doc Shock, and he used to throw some wands out there, and I got strapped to a chair, and he worked me over, and we had him on the show, and that was a little more I think a little heavier than what needs to be. But I can't even imagine you're having sex with somebody and they're electric all over. It sounds like fun.
Like she said, like Brittany said, it's sensual. It's not necessarily painful. You can
have the vampire talons, so you could put long nails and scratch somebody down the back. Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
Falling off.
Oh, these are adjustable. All the ones I sell are adjustable.
Yeah, he's talking about, I had these claws that were metal rings that go on the ends of your fingers, and they looked really cool, but they kept falling off. And I was doming a guy on his show, and they just kept flying off all over the room. So
yeah. But these are I think these is there any way to custom fit these, or how do you
they're literally adjustable. You can pinch them closed with your fingers and then they stay.
See, that was the mistake. Yeah, we had Jamie work some guy over in the studio, and that was the only thing that didn't work. Everything else was top notch. The bullet belt, all sorts of things. But Brittany, now let me ask you. And once again, you're talking to a novice and somebody's very experienced. So if somebody is, I'm going to give you two scenarios. Somebody just watched 50 Shades of Grey. They've always been curious about S&M, but they just don't know where to start. What website would you refer them to, and what would you refer them to buy?
I'd refer them to both websites for starters. I would refer them to both, and I would say pick up a super squish grenade, right? Because I assume in this scenario we're talking about someone who's essentially lived their whole life on missionary and doggy style, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, I tell them to pick up like a super squish grenade, right? So something to stick in your butt, see if you like any kind of butt stuff that's going to be soft, which makes it easier. And then I would send them to the dungeon store to get like a bedroom bondage kit.
Okay.
That's the beginning of restraints and impact. And I think that kind of covers a good, well-rounded introduction.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how about somebody who's seen and done it all? Is there anything innovative that you have that nobody else would have, that they just have blow anybody's mind, even the most experienced person in the fetish world? Or something that's a good variation on something that they may have seen.
So not currently listed on my website because we had to take it down to rework it. But we're in the midst of reworking a leather conductive flogger.
Oh.
Please, leather conductive flogger. So conducting electricity, I'm assuming?
Yeah. So it works with a violet wand to shock you with a leather flogger, which is...
I'm assuming the wand would go into the flogger. And...
Yeah, I like floggers.
So how about the wand with the flogger? Can you just imagine getting electrified while you're getting spanked? Or while you're spanking on somebody else? I'm sorry. What am I thinking?
I don't think you would want to use water.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't use it at the pool, no, but I think it'd be nice to have.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could intensify things. You'd have to play around and see. I mean, I agree with what she was saying for a starter, you know, that, and I would include, you have to have the conversation. You have to have the conversation about what your limits are, what their limits are, what you're curious about, what they're curious about, because without good communication, you're not going to have a good experience, you know.
Well, what I also like about your website as well is that you have a lot of vegan items.
We do.
And that's becoming increasingly popular, and increasingly, because I know so many vegans, and I know they're just as kinky as everybody else, but they wouldn't be caught dead with leather. And I'm just
especially ethical vegans, which is what's really, really on the rise. Not necessarily preferential, but ethical vegans, especially eco.
Right.
Yeah. So we do have and we do keep them so that there's no like cross contamination. Like we take it pretty seriously, and we do have a large vegan line, and also our vegan line is the one that's growing the fastest.
I would imagine. That's why I mentioned it. Now, what do you make the central play knives out of?
Wood and or acrylic. Some of them are wood, some of them are acrylic.
You ever play with knives, Jamie?
Knives, no. But wait, take that back. Had one boyfriend that he wanted me to wear pantyhose, and he would cut holes in them and then cut a hole right where he wanted to fuck me through. And yeah, that's as close as I can. I didn't feel comfortable with it. Made me a little nervous, but you know, I was 19, so.
Yeah, that's a little Jack the Ripper-esque.
Yeah, just a little.
See, he should have just stuck with the black light conductive rope, which you know, that's good for any dorm room.
Yeah,
because you always got that like.
You're not entirely wrong.
I know I'm not entirely wrong. I bet that's who's buying this is college students. They got the Hendrix posters and the little Bob Marley poster, and then it's like, yeah, why don't I use some rope and tie up somebody? Yeah, because I know you said that a lot of your audience is older, but a lot of your clients are older, but I would imagine you get them all over the place. And you know, obviously with the unicorn things and the, you know, the vegan stuff is really geared for younger people.
So I think you'd be surprised how many soccer moms have the same interests that you're attributing to younger people.
I wouldn't. Soccer moms are kinky. They're probably the kinkiest.
I mean, I love soccer moms. Give me a
Soccer,
moment. I love soccer moms.
Soccer. If it wasn't for soccer moms, we wouldn't have Twilight. We wouldn't have 50 Shades of Grey. Soccer moms are.
We also wouldn't have orange slices every Saturday morning after soccer practice.
Well, that too. I mean, yes, of course. But I'm talking about the side of the soccer mom we don't see. And a lot of times the side of the soccer moms, their husbands don't see, but somebody else sees.
Well, I mean, for sure.
Yeah. So soccer moms could be. I'll tell you what soccer moms are not doing. They're not posting selfies and hashtagging split peaches because their husbands would find out and their workplace would find out. Or are they?
I think a lot of the loud and proud customers we get tend to be gay men in
Okay.
their late 20s to late 50s.
Yeah, why not?
I would say you're definitely correct in my experience. It's not soccer moms talking us up. It's gay guys.
And why not? It's Pride Month. Hell.
Honestly, when I saw the rainbow toys, that was my first thought, was it's Pride Month. I thought maybe that's why you had the colorful, the arrangement. But
yeah, I mean, it's obviously painting a dildo rainbow colors. You're really skewing towards that market, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's clear they're not painted. The silicone itself is dyed that color.
My apologies. Once again, I'm a novice. I don't.
Fine.
Yeah, but they're beautiful rainbow colors, and you don't have to be gay to buy one. It doesn't hurt.
I was gonna say it kind of helps.
Yeah, but I can see. But I'm sure there's plenty of straight people that buy them too. Trust me, I'm sure you do well among the brony crowd, all sorts of people, right?
I am sure I have a sizable but quiet following of bronies.
Bronies and furries now, which brings me to I didn't even get to really look at the tails that you have. Single tails, whips and such. Let's see. See, you got everything, and the website is so easy to navigate. I got to tell you,
it really is.
Here's your whips. You got your and these look really high quality.
Yeah, your layout of your site is really user friendly, extremely user friendly.
But yeah, so we were talking about the dog kit, but about horsetails and that type of thing. They're on there, right?
Actually, nope. We stop at puppies.
Why'd you do that?
The pony play market, just in my experience, hasn't been that big, and so and there are companies that cater to them,
right?
And are specialized. And why would I dabble in ponds that already have big fish?
You're right. Because I was looking at it, and there you do have still a thing that says tails, but there's no tails on there. Which, yeah, well.
So single is for whips.
Right.
If you go to, I believe it's under cosplay, is where you find our like anal tails.
Oh, okay. Then I was navigating to the wrong thing, but it may have been the ant touch that it was throwing here.
Now, does that go for pigtails too?
That's also something that we do not.
That's kind of what I thought.
The people who deal in those markets are 100% in those markets, 100% invested in those customers and that demographic. And I'm not going to be 100% invested in that demographic. As you can see, I have a ton of products. So it just, the value proposition is not there. And also, I'm a small business. Those people are small businesses. Why would I want to make their lives harder while making my own life? Like, why why create competition if you don't have to?
Right, because you have one of a kind products here, including the vegan central plate knives, the forever leather roses.
Yes, which are all literally one of a kind.
And wow, you got the 3-foot kangaroo whip, the El Diablo. These are wow.
Yeah.
Are you
The
going
lightning-
shopping after the
Lightning
show?
paddles. I
Mom?
mean, I could go all day with this. We can go. We could go all day with this website. But I have to ask you, Brittany, what is your favorite product?
Favorite to use or favorite in general?
Favorite to use?
Probably a violet wand.
I'm sorry.
Probably a violet wand, to be honest.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like I said, it's my bailiwick, my bread and butter. It's what I came up with. It was where the company kind of got its grounding, our flagship product line. We make a lot of the accessories in-house. It's just always gonna be my child. What can I say?
In a very odd way, almost a sister to you.
Oh yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Yes.
You're not wrong.
I've got my darling Brittany and my darling Violet Wands, and they're both shocking in their own way.
That was nice. That was nice. Thank you.
Yes. Has your mother said anything like that in their life?
That they're like a sister or made a bad pun.
Your mother would never make a bad pun, so I would imagine yeah.
Really wouldn't. Nope. Really would not.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, my whole life we've talked about the fact that the company is, even before I understood what it was, that it's like a sibling because it's like her child, and the way that we approach it is different because it's like her child, whereas it's like my sibling.
Right.
So
Yeah.
He's more protective, and I'm more like, let it flee the nest. Like, let's see where it goes. And so we're, even though like the perspectives we have, it is like a member of my family.
But she must be really proud of you for really taking this business and bringing it to the next generation.
You'd have to ask her.
Are you proud of your mom for starting it in the first place? I'm asking you.
Always. I mean, you've mentioned that you heard me on another podcast, but I will gladly repeat it here. Every ounce of like hustle and hard work I get from my mom. So yeah, no, I'm always proud of her.
And one last question before we go, and we ask this for everybody, not just you, but what is your kink? What is your fetish? What do you like?
Well, educating. Straight up educating. Knowledge, conversation, sharing knowledge. It's sharing knowledge.
That's a good fetish. I gotta get on that. It's pretty wild though. I don't know. It might be too hardcore for me, but I'm gonna really get on that. Brittany, it's been a delight talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And just please, if you can, real quick, run down your websites, plugs, anything that you want people to know about, anything you have going.
So you can find everything we talked about today at either thedungeonstore.com or splitpeaches.com. You can find us on social media at The Dungeon Store or at Split Peaches on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, FetLife, and Please Me channels. Both of our websites do have a live chat feature. So if you're looking at them and you have any questions at all, please just use the chat feature, ask a question.
No bad puns though.
No, listen, I enjoy a good bad pun.
All right. And Jamie, how do people get a hold of you?
Facebook, Jamie Gendron, Twitter at Miss Jamie Gendron, and Instagram is at Miss_Jamie_Gendron.
A lot of underscores. And I'm Goth Comedian on all social media. Everybody, have a wonderfully creepy week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.